This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and we're back today with a performance review on the #1 selling performance basketball sneaker of 2017, and that is Mr. Clutch Shot himself, Mr. The Earth is Flat, Mr. Game 7 winning for Cleveland, saving LeBron's butt, Mr. Kyrie Irving. All right, the Kyrie Irving 3 is one of the best signature shoes today, and the reason for that is, one, it just looks good. All right, at the end of the day, a lot of your people are buying shoes not only for performance, which hopefully I would say let's lean towards that, but also because they like the person and or the shoe just has to look good. This is the Black History Month colorway. I was fortunate enough to get the Kyrie Mamba colorway, which is just fire. I mean, that's still dead stock. That's just a gorgeous shoe. I played in these quite a few times, so you can see some of the scuffs on here. But this is something that, this is actually the first Kyrie I can play with more consistency, and we'll get into that in a second. All right, starting with the fit. The Kyries in general do run a little bit small. I've had to do a size 13 on the 1, 2, and the 3. Now I'm generally a true 12 with a wide foot, so I do a 12.5 generally. It's hard to get 12.5 in most shoes, so I generally just do a 13, and on these they fit perfectly. So if you don't have as wide of a foot, you can go down or just to your normal size, but for anyone who has anything moderately of a wide foot, you're going to have to go up at least half a size. Again, I've always done 13, and that's most of my basketball shoes because I do want a little bit of that front gap, and these fit really well. If I did the 12.5 or even the 12, it was a little bit tight, but what they did that was nice with this, and that goes into materials and the fit as well, is the back half of the shoe, a la like your Jordan 31, is more of a firm or foam based section, and it is more of a mid top. So someone like Kyrie, obviously you're fast, he's quick, he wants to have that lateral stability, so that's something that's going to give you a little better containment. The midfoot here is actually covered with 2 flywire cables, and it's more of a mesh, and then the front toe box is really light as well. So it's almost like 3 separate components, and they all work really well for fit and containment. As far as for support, you obviously have that back lockdown, huge heel cup where this is actually pretty stiff going most of the way up the shoe, as well as you do have an internal mid shank plate, as well as a fairly flat base. Now what's nice about the Kyrie Irving, and this started with the Kyrie 1, is it actually is pretty rounded. So if you're looking right here, and what that's meant for is on your toe offs, if you're coming around a drag screen, I mean, this is something that you're able to get that traction no matter where your foot is planted. So it's really cool. And that takes us to our traction. So the traction overall is something that's a hallmark for the Kyrie line. Now, I found the Kyrie 2 to have one of the Hall of Fame tractions out there in the most recent memory. Obviously, you can hark back to your Kobe 9s, your Jordan 28s, and I was actually just playing in my Kobe 9s last week. Just wanted to get a perspective here. But the traction on these are very good, not Hall of Fame. What I mean by that is there's enough space in here where it does move the dust in the court fairly well, so it's not just clogging it up. But I do find myself having to wipe moderately, so not annoyingly so. And then finally, even when it does get dusty, it's a consistent, so maybe you're not getting your hard stops, but you're never falling, so it's very smooth. Overall, as a guard shoe, traction is solid. Most shoes nowadays do have good traction, so unless you're getting something that's just a standout performer or that's just god-awful, as long as you're doing a good enough job, you're going to be okay. I think the biggest difference is this uses a pretty firm rubber overall, so for a lot of the kids out there, if you're looking to buy a shoe that you're going to be able to use all year round, obviously on court and walking to school, this is something that holds up really well, which is something you can't say for most shoes made nowadays. And we'll get into that really soon as far as comparing things and how they hold up. And that's one of the biggest differences on this shoe compared to a lot of the shoes from Nike specifically, and that's the cushioning. On the 3, albeit from the 2 to the 3, they actually added just a little bit more impact protection. I mean, and I say a little bit, just slightly. So the Kyrie 1 had a 4-foot zoom unit, and that's going to be most of Nike's lineup nowadays. So putting it in the heel is going to give you a little bit better impact protection from jumps and landings, whereas not having it in the 4-foot, it's going to give you a little bit better ground control as well as court feel. So when you push off, you do feel a little bit quicker when you don't have that zoomer in the 4-foot. At the end of the day, that is a personal preference. I like the 4-foot zoom, but I do like doing my dribbling drills and doing speed drills on court in these, just because you do feel pretty quick. So again, even though I'm a bigger guy, I'm at 240. So for a lot of the guys out there, if you're under 180, you're going to be perfectly fine and really happy in these. I do have to use a different insole, but overall, even with a thin insole, I'm using a charged insole actually from Under Armour, and it does the job. It's about this thin, not that big of a deal. Give you guys a little peek here. So as you can see, it's very similar to what like Superfeet uses, but if you're using anything insole, it's going to be able to take up the task. So if you are a bigger guy, you can still get something that maybe you like the look of, but it's also going to be able to meet your demands as far as your cushioning needs. So how does this stack up against everything on the market? Let's get right into that. So when you're comparing the Kyrie 3, I would say the biggest factor is going to be price on the onset. So you're looking at about $120. On sale, they've been as low as like $75. So you're able to get a signature athlete shoe with pretty good tech overall for a fairly good price, and actually closer to like your team shoe pricing. So we're going to eliminate a lot of the higher end shoes. The biggest reason most people are buying shoes outside of the price for performance needs, whether you're a coach, you're a kid, you're a parent, is obviously going to be what you like and pricing. So what you like, most people are buying because it's a signature shoe. You like Kyrie. I'm from Chicago. Jordan was huge, and obviously you want to buy Jordan shoes, but also on court, you want to be like Mike. Come on. So with Kyrie doing everything he's doing this year, I can't blame any kid who wants a Kyrie 3 just because it's Kyrie's shoe. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if we're going to break this down into, say, signature athlete shoes, we can do that real quick. So obviously you have the Kyrie 3. From Nike, you're going to have your PG 1. You're going to have your KD Trey 5, your LeBron Witness 2. You're going to have your LeBron 11 Soldier Zoom on sale. You're going to have your Kobe Mamba Rage that just came out. And then on sale now with a lot of the team colorways is your Kobe AD. So even from Nike, you have a really broad lineup of shoes you can choose from that are athlete shoes, maybe not signature, because a lot of these are either their team version models or their outdoor version. But again, the biggest difference on most of these is going to be that the cushion is in the 4-foot. The Kyrie has the cushion in the heel, giving you that 4-foot that's going to be a little bit quicker. So if I were to recommend anything from the Nike lineup side of things, I actually really do recommend the Nike Mamba Rage. And I kind of stumbled there because last year this was called the Instinct, or this year. So the Rage is one that just came out. This is going to give you something that has just as durable traction, that's actually going to be a little bit lighter. It's full-length lunar cushioning. This starts out at 100, and I was able to get this one for 45. So the only thing I would say is a negative on this shoe is if you do not want a low top. And again, having played in all kinds of shoes, the low top, high top has nothing to do with ankle stability. But I also can tell you, having said that, when I roll my ankle, I'm generally grabbing a high top shoe. So once that does happen, again, I can't knock anybody. So if you do want a mid-top shoe, ironically enough, Kyrie did have his collaboration with Mamba, with the Kyrie Mamba version, and that's just a sick shoe. But your Kobe AD, so at $150, this has been knocked because the materials are maybe not quite up to par for $150. Most of the team colorways on East Bay right now are $120, meaning you're spending about the same amount as a brand new Kyrie 3. That being said, the Kobe AD is going to give you a larger heel zoom area unit, as well as full-length lunar. Traction is going to be about the same, if not maybe a little better. The only difference is the traction is possibly not as durable. When I say possibly, I'm going to say it is not as durable. But performance-wise, this is going to be a better overall shoe. Now, in the Adidas camp, The Crazy Explosive is something that comes in the high, a mid, and just came out in the low. If you're watching our Sneaker Gears Weekly, that's something that just dropped. Those generally are on sale in their team colorways for around that same price, around that $120. And if you're not getting prime knit, that is still a better material upper. It's like a prime forged or forged upper, and those are like $109. So that's going to give you full length boost. That's going to give you better traction, a better upper, and you're going to spend less money. Now, it's not a signature shoe. Now, the only caveat with that is going to be it is a little bit heavier. So if you are a lightweight guard or you want something that's going to be quicker, maybe that's not quite for you. But I would say overall, for most people, that's going to be the better shoe. And then finally, if you are looking for a signature shoe, you don't care if it has to be Nike, the Adidas Dame 4 is a banger. That's something that's going to give you as durable traction. Traction is going to be as good, if not maybe a little bit better. It is giving you full length cushioning of bounce, so that's going to be very comparable, if not, again, slightly better than the Kyrie. Style-wise, personally, I think the Dame 4 looks really nice. Now, that's a personal preference. If you're sponsored by Nike at your school, or if you're able to get a discount better on Nikes, again, if you're able to get the Kyrie less expensive, go ahead and grab that. But at the same time, if you're okay stepping out of your comfort zone, something like the Dame 4, the Crazy Explosive, is going to be incredible. And then one last thing that's really off the reservation, if you're okay not even going American, is actually going to be your Anta KT2 or their new KT3, and that stands for Klay Thompson. Those are his signature shoes. Those are $120 for the new KT3 and even less for the KT2. Those are shoes that are durable outdoor, better cushion, better material upper, and just a fantastic shoe overall. And I can do a full performance review on that as well. But hopefully that's going to give you some insight onto who the Kyrie 3 is for. If you are a big man, so you're not a guard, you're not lightweight, and you do need a little extra cushion, the LeBron Soldier 11, which has heel and forefoot zoom, that has a mid-top, so this is going to give you a little better containment. That's something, again, on sale is right around that $110, $120 nowadays. So that's something, if you're a big man, go for. Also, you have your Anthony Davis Player Edition Air Max Dominate and Air Max Infuriate that are going to give you a heel Air Max zoom versus Zoom Air, or just Air Max, no zoom there. But there's no cushion in the forefoot, which is exactly like the Kyrie. Now again, those are budget models, but you're able to get those for as low as $50. So if you're looking at just the financial side of things, the Kyrie 3 doesn't mean that's for everybody. But that kind of breaks it down. You got a lot of options there. We'll have a full link on sneakergears.com so you can kind of go through and see what works best for you. But overall, I would say, again, half the people out there who are buying shoes are buying because, one, you just like the look of the shoe, and I can't blame anybody for that. Or two, you just like the athlete, and Kyrie is just killing it this year. So I have nothing but love for him and what he's doing, and if you want to support him and Nike in those regards. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If I rambled a bit much, if you have any comments, let me know. What can I do better? How I can answer your questions? Shoot your comments down below. I generally do try to get back to you. And then follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, shoot me your comments. Let me know what you guys like. I'm on Facebook. And again, that sneakergears.com is coming live at you soon, so you'll be able to go through there and contact me that way as well. As always, it's been a pleasure. We'll have Sneaker Gears Weekly coming at you every week with all your newest updates on Monday, as well as we'll have performance reviews on other basketball shoes, so power gears on your training shoes, as well as having a few running shoes coming at you soon. Guys, this is Levi with Sneaker Gears. Looking forward to coming at you soon. Have a good night.